Hi there, I'm Bernadette McGree. Today we're going to do a great hamstring stretch. This is especially for runners, so when you run, the hammies get really tight and it's really important to stretch those out. Now, I'm going to assume that you can't do a forward fold easily with straight legs reaching the floor, which is no problem. So I want you to, you can do this on a park bench, on a chair at home, on the bench at home, wherever. Just start by bringing your feet so that they're parallel. So when you bring your feet parallel, oftentimes people tend to turn their feet out a little bit. They have the insides parallel. But the thing is that the ball mounts of our feet, if you lift your heels, they're the ball mounts. The ball mounts of the feet are wider than the heels. So in order to get your feet parallel, you actually need to bring your toes in a little bit. Think of it like this. Imagine a straight line between the base of your second toe and lining up with the middle of the front ankle. And imagine that those two lines are like train tracks, they're parallel. Bring those two imaginary lines so that they are parallel, and then your feet are parallel. It will feel, if you're not used to it, like you're sort of a little pigeon-toed, but don't worry, what we're going for is anatomical neutral. So bring your feet so that they're parallel, and then just make sure that your feet are falling down from your hips so they're not too wide and they're not beside each other. And again, we're going for anatomical neutral. We're going for the easiest way for the body to be lined up so that you can stretch. And then just bring your hands to your chair, the desk, the park bench, whatever it is. Bend your knees. And I want you to focus on imagining that you can arch your back. So it's like you're sticking your bottom up to the skies. And you can see there, if I round my back, that's what it looks like. If I arch my back, that's what it looks like. If you're used to doing a cat-cow tilt, you'll be doing the cat tilt. And then keep that tilt, keep that little natural curve in the lower back. We want the pelvis to be we want it to be set well, and we want it to be stable. Lift up on your pelvic floor, so it's like you're trying to do a wee, but you're holding onto those muscles. Tone the tummy. And then press your feet into the floor. You may start to notice as you do that your glutes start to engage, that's fine. Draw up on the muscles above the knees, so the fronts of the thighs, the quadriceps, and just take a few moments to breathe here. Now, if you're flexible enough to be able to straighten your legs, by all means do so. If you can drop down a little further, by all means do so. The key thing here is to make sure that your muscles are still active and working. And then just bring your hands to your hips and lift your head, gently come up. Okay, that's your pre-test. So that's to sort of see how you are right now. Now we're going to up the ante. What I encourage you to do is grab a roller. I've got my rainbow roller here. Grab a mat, tightly roll the mat up. Grab a beach towel, tightly roll the beach towel up. So whatever it is, just have a nice firm roll. And then bring one foot then the other onto the roll so that the ball mount of the foot is on the roll and the heel is on the floor. Again, make sure that your feet are parallel to each other. So you want you don't want the inner edges parallel. You want the feet feeling slightly pigeon-toed. The knees should be tracking straight over your second toes. Bend your legs to begin with. Tilt the pelvis, tone the pelvic floor and tone the abs. Draw the muscles up above the knees, engage the quadriceps. So the quads are antagonistic to the hamstrings. When we contract the quads, when we lift the muscles up above the knees, engage the quads, in other words, we're actually facilitating a stretch in the hamstrings, the backs of the thighs. Now keep that and fold forward. This roll is just getting a little bit antsy. It's moving around here. Keep pressing the feet down into the roller and into the floor. And then focus on your breath. So breathe in through the nose and breathe either out through the nose or purse your lips and go. Keep coming back to the muscles being contracted and engaged. Keep pressing your feet down into the floor. Then bring your hands to the chair. Step your feet away. Bring your hands to your hips, elbows to the sky, lift your head and inhale, come up. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to take the roller away and come back to that forward fold. So bring your feet so they're hip width and parallel. And hands on the floor or the blocks or the chair, whatever it is. Bend the knees, tone the muscles of the legs, almost like you're sucking energy up from the floor. So you want to draw up on those muscles. And then you want to press those feet down into the floor. So you've still got the tone in the muscles, you're still drawing up, you're also pressing down. Keep the tilt in the pelvis, tone the pelvic floor, tone the abs. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, see if you can bow forward a little bit more. By all means, straighten your legs. And when you straighten your legs, don't let your muscles collapse. You need to keep the muscles contracting here. And notice how this feels now compared with how it felt on the roller. And also compared with how it felt initially when you did it the first time. Keep pressing your feet into the floor. Bring your hands to your hips, your elbows to the sky. Lift your chin and inhale, come all the way up. Give your legs a little shake. And just, you've given your hamstrings a stretch, so that's good. You've probably stretched your calves a little as well. Okay, I'll be back with more tips. In the meantime, enjoy your run.